AskReddit by Professor Wolf02. What did a teacher say that stuck with you? My 3rd grade teacher. She told my parents that my brother, 1 year ahead of me, should probably be tested for ADHD because he showed a lot of signs. My dad threatened to have her fired over it. When I was in her class the following year, she saw that I was deeply struggling too, this time with probable dyslexia. Instead of going to my parents because she knew that would get nowhere, she would have the other kids read their chapters and have me come sit at her desk because she knew I'd have already read the chapter on my own for fun. She taught me little tricks to remember how to keep letters in the correct order, like wearing a shirt is necessary, that's why it has 1 collar and 2 sleeves, 1 C and 2 S's. Or the aura of a restaurant is important. There's a handful more I still reference once in a while at 27 years old. I passed 3rd grade with an A+ in spelling when I'd been a ver. That's how I want to teach when I'm older, hopefully. My 10th grade history teacher. Beware of any political candidate who offers simple solutions to complex problems. I can only imagine what his reaction would be to what passes for political discourse in America, and elsewhere, these days. People like to hear it, but the truth is, problems are rarely simple. Hearing that one person alone could lift a country is a great claim, but that's all it is. If the Trump and Obama years have taught us anything, it's that the president cannot do everything on his own. He needs the Senate, the House and the other government bodies to work together to solve the problems facing society. The current partisan system doesn't do the people any good when obstructing any bill is an actual action and goal of one party. I had a middle school teacher who taught us about the stock market. While I am by no means a millionaire, I am living much more comfortably due to what he taught me. I remember my 8th grade history teacher saying, "You'll never go broke investing in stocks that deal with war, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, etc." Grade 11 English teacher. In a regular conversion there is a back and forth. Clarification can be requested, additional details can be provided. When communicating in writing, these opportunities rarely exist, and so it is important to be precise and clear in what we say. It is also important to learn to read properly so you can understand what you're reading without additional communication being required. It is painful how many arguments I see online from people who can neither write effectively nor read correctly. Clarity, especially in written communication, is such a difficult skill for many, it seems, or at least 75% of my company. This isn't some essay you left till the last minute and you need to hit a min-word count. Stop fluffing up what you're writing about and precisely describe the issue. Nothing she said, but something she did. I called her when I was stranded downtown. I was crying. And she came to pick me up. She sat down next to me and talked to me to find out why I was crying. She learned that I was just raped, and instead of taking me home, she took me to the hospital and started taking me to therapy every week. AWW, this is so wholesome. I'm so sorry you went through that and so glad she showed you some much needed kindness. It's my job to lecture. It's your job to be a sieve, not a sponge. Basically sift out the good information, or find what works for you. Don't just absorb and repeat whatever is said. That's actually beautiful. People laugh when they hear truth. If you wanna do comedy, you gotta remember this. George Carlin. You know. Nice tits. Oh no. Let me measure your height. This teacher apparently loves to measure his female students' heights. I was also one of the victims. When he measured our heights, he also placed his hands on our breasts. We were just middle schoolers at the time. I googled that phrase. It's been reported by others that "let me measure your height" is how they also were touched. https://www.quora.com/who-molested-you/answers /135218028 right square bracket open bracket https://www.quora.com who molested you answers /135,218,028. Middle school English teacher told my mom I was horrible at writing and first ever D in my life. I wrote a best-selling book as an adult. If you don't mind, what's the book called? Correlation is not causation. Just because your car started after you kicked the tires, doesn't mean that's what fixed it. Anytime you blow steam, you lose power. Even if I have no other reason to respect someone, I'll still respect them for the fact that they're human. My band director last year. Your integrity is not worth a few points. Don't give directions that can be understood, give directions that cannot be misunderstood. That is why I asked someone to help me give directions to somewhere I knew how to get to, but forgot the name of the street the building was on. Don't downvote me for grammar or my writing skills. 6th grade. What's wrong with you? You're either stupid or lazy. Why not both? Cancer isn't a death sentence. For context, that teacher had just found out about me having cancer. Thankfully it was caught early and easily treated, my freshman year of high school, and this teacher was the one I liked the most of all my teachers that year because he was completely honest about him fighting cancer 2 times in the past 20 years. He also invited me to after-school tutoring so I could ask him questions about cancer treatment so I wouldn't be scared or nervous going into treatment. That teacher passed away this year from late-stage cancer, but he had cheered the loudest for me at my high school graduation. My 10th grade history teacher to someone picking on another student for their bad grade. He stopped him and told the whole class that being smart isn't the only factor in success and that being rude to others can sabotage your own future. That was followed by a 15-minute talk about qualities employers look for and how get along with co-workers. I think he was talking about networking long before it was a term. BTW, the not so bright guy, was well liked by everyone and became successful in sales because he could talk to anyone. The other guy became a CPA, so it's not like he wasn't successful in the end either. Elementary, public. To class, the sad truth is that people will remember the times people were unkind to them more than they will remember people being kind. So always be kind to people so they won't have bad memories here. High school, private. Art teacher I previously admired. To class, if gays are allowed to marry, it will open the door for pedophiles in this country. I am gay and was in the closet at the time. Religion teacher, a priest, enraged at me when I tried to gently diffuse a situation between him and other students he was yelling at for making a simple mistake. Shut up, name exclamation point. Nobody cares what you think. My elementary school teacher was right. Freshman undergrad advisor said I shouldn't try to get into med school cause I didn't ace my high school statewide chairman physics regents exams. Currently in med school. From my personal experience, having someone try to discourage you can often be far more motivating than if they had encouraged you. Look at you, doing nothing but blowing spit bubbles. Get back to work and pay attention. My law school professor 2nd year. Be the hero of your own paper trail. I cannot stress enough how important it is to document everything and do it properly. Ah, that's so cute. College professor. I had a few classes with her over the years and she knew I was a single mom. The last exam of the last class for my degree was with her. When I handed it in, she looked me in my eyes and said, "The kids in this room will never understand what you've just accomplished. You are head and shoulders above everyone else here." I walked outside and cried. Took me until 27 to get my degree, but I got it. Congrats. I had an AP biology teacher who gave our class a very random lecture about how we were all failing his class because we were getting angry with the material and that anger makes everything more difficult. It was a really strange class and it was actually his awful instruction that was making us all fail. But what he said about anger I found to be true and it actually has helped in the long run. Side note, he quit after that year to go back to med school. I think he was wrestling with feelings of remorse about his career path.